Welcome to my channel. This year is another piece in the prophetic, and the topic here is 5 signs you'll be a great prophet. These two embrace some of the things the great or sharp prophets do daily. If you're new here, consider subscribing to my channel. Hit the notification bell so you won't miss out of other powerful videos coming up here. Also, like this video, comment and share to bless others. Let's move into what we have here in this material. All great prophets you see, all the sharpest prophets in every age or any age, people that have got a lot of things or several things around their lives that are somewhat similar. Of course, there are issues that will have exceptionalities or cases of exceptionalities with individual prophets. That shows how specific their missions also can be. There are a number of things we can pick out to tell you that if you're experiencing this, or you have the tendency to do this, or you begin to do this, you are going to be one of those who will be named or listed among the great prophets of your time or in the future. I want to go into them. The first thing is random visualization. All great prophets, those who are already there, those who are still coming in, have this tendency of random visualization. What do I mean by random visualization? This is the situation where you are by yourself and you discover that you are just visualizing things in the spirit randomly. These things are not necessarily prophecies that are coming. At least in the beginnings, you begin to see, either you close your eyes, you begin to see things, or when you open your eyes, you're still seeing things running in your mind. You can see them. They can be cars, traveling. It can be that you are visualizing an earthquake or war or an accident taking place, or people who are sick, or something great happening somewhere, an event that you right in the midst of the event, and you see everything that is happening. Sometimes these things, you see those in random visualizations. There are things that you can recognize. That is some of the things you've ever experienced, or things that you've never experienced, but that you just see yourself in that realm. You just visualizing things. Sometimes this can be so much that you may be even scared. You're getting eccentric. There are occasions where even if you want to rest, all you see or all you do is you keep visualizing things. It's a sign that you're going to be a sharp prophet in the future. Now, for the great prophets who are already in the prophetic, either they are studying their scripture about to pray, they just take it into that realm and they begin to visualize things. And in their own case, you discover that these ones begin to see with specifications. That's to say that what they're seeing or visualizing is headed in a particular direction, given a specific vision about somebody, about a place, about the people, about things, about all of that. Now, those were coming from the beginning where it's just about random visualization, where these are not necessarily specific visions, or you are not able to interpret them. Grow gradually to the place where this thing becomes visions that are about a nation, about a state, about a county, region, province, parish, a people, event, or a natural disaster, or something of providence that is coming up somewhere in the future. The second point is contact check. This is also referred to as divinity check. Every prophet that is great, you're seeing there, do divinity check every day. This is what I mean by divinity check. They check their depth of current or status of relationship with God daily. They are concerned with how much easy it is for them to maintain tact or contact God, the Father, Son, and the Spirit. They try to check out the balance in terms of their fellowship with the Son, with the Father, and the Spirit. They try to see the Father interact with them, Son interact with them, or the Spirit interact with them. These three in one God comes into a fellowship that is lively with them. And if this is not there, a prophet that is great becomes or have a problem already. what he will naturally do is to withdraw to the place of prayers. But if daily the connection is there, then everything is balanced. So you discover that somebody who is coming in the prophetic, but you are not a professional yet. We call these people anointed unprofessionals. Like David, when he was anointed by Samuel the prophet, he was anointed unprofessional. God, in most cases, work greatly or do great things, accomplish great feat using anointed unprofessionals. Anointed unprofessionals, these are people who are coming to the prophetic and are trying to do the prophetic to satisfaction. You do divinity check. How much easy it is for you to interact with the angels daily, like I'm here. How much easy it is for me to interact with God. First, a conscience check. Is my conscience having a problem, or my conscience is alive and intact? If your conscience have sustained wound as a result of a practice or something you did, it could be a mark or an act of disobedience to the voice of God. And divinity check will pick it out immediately. And once you can maintain divinity check all the time, or contact check all the time, and are able to bring yourself back to the place where you discover or notice that both you, God, the Father, the Son, and the Spirit are interacting fine. And as a result, you can sense the presence of God's angels. It becomes clear that you can be a great prophet in the future. And this you do daily. This talks about divinity. This is where you begin to work on how well the other you is flourishing. Like you're looking at me now. This is the physical me. This is how much I flourish. This is my body size. You get me? The size of my hand, my head, my body trunk, and my legs are there. Mr. Raymond is different from Apostle Raymond, and so it is with you. So if I want to develop Apostle Raymond and not Mr. Raymond, Apostle Raymond doesn't wear clothes, he doesn't eat food, he doesn't dress up. So if I want to develop Apostle Raymond, I must maintain a routine of divinity check or contact check. Anytime you have a problem there, the next thing is to withdraw. Don't show up for any meeting until divinity check or contact check tests positive for you that you are in tune with the Father, Son, and the Spirit. Point number 3 is dual existence. Every great prophet of old and of the contemporary time have got what we call the dual existence. The dual existence talks about, I just mentioned Mr. Raymond and Apostle Raymond. Apostle Raymond is a divine personality. Mr. Raymond is a physical personality. A great prophet, you see, have got the two. That's why in the course of prophesying, Apostle Raymond can travel in the spirit while Mr. Raymond is standing in front of you. But because Apostle Raymond lives in Mr. Raymond and superimposes on Mr. Raymond, he travels, translocates, perhaps to the prophetic code of translation, and he's able to, from that given location in the realm of the spirit, talk through the mouth of Mr. Raymond. Now, great prophets have the ability to balance between their dual existence. They can decide to switch earth from this present body and be there, to experience or explore the other realm. Like, for instance, Apostle Paul said, I knew a man 15 years ago, never in the body, out of the body, I do not know. Such a man was caught up into the third heavens and had mysteries that are unlawful for men to speak or to utter. John said, I was in the spirit. That means that Apostle John was in the spirit. Mr. John may be physically present. That's what we're trying to talk about. Ezekiel said, I was carried out in the spirit of the Lord. For great prophets, you are not just kind of an accidental traveler in the realm of the spirit. No, you are two in one in this sense. Your spirit can travel. That is the divine person, and that proper tact with you as a spiritual personality is there, or spirit-based personality who lives in the spirit realm is there. It is during such time that you can go into the spirit realm, see unspeakable mysteries, interact with unspeakable mysteries. When you come out, here is the secret about prophetic folks. When a prophet is preaching or teaching, there are some of the things he is preaching or teaching that is based on the result of his interaction in the spirit realm as a dual personality, and this gives a profound depth to the scripture. That was a long time ago. I wanted to talk about Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and I said that when they were thrown into the fiery burning furnace, the place became cool. God made the fireplace, the furnace to become an air conditioner so that it was cool enough for them. Do you know what? Sometime later, I read in the Apocalypse about the three Hebrew guys, namely Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. And you know what? That was what the Apocalypse said. Place became cool. God decided to blow a very cool breeze in the midst of that fire where they were, so they were not burned. How did I know it? That this happened. Forget about their story. Me, I had a revelation about it. So prophets, when I talk to you about healing, cancer is there, it is coming out. I'm not just saying it because I want to pray. No, I'm seeing the cancer. I know the spirit of cancer. I can talk to the spirit of cancer. I know it can hear me. And when I'm talking, it's hearing me. So at the most, I'll leave this present body and talk from the other bodies. If you see that you always have the hunger to leave this body, to be in the other body and effect things in the physical, it shows that you are going to be a great prophet in the future. Please work on yourself. The next point is boarding. That's number 4, boarding. The boarding of the Lord. All who are going to be great or sharp prophets in the future are people that are loaded or troubled or laden with the boarding of the Lord. Remember I said, come unto me, all ye that labor, and I'll have a loading, and I will give you rest. But he said, take my yoke, it is this one, upon and learn of me. For my yoke is what? Easy. And he said, I'm meek and lowly. So we've got this yoke from God. We actually came with a yoke to God as prophets. But along the line, he gives you a yoke. You can't rest. You can't sleep until you have this thing done. This is where global missions are born from. You discover that you just have that hunger. You just want to do something big for God. You just want to make God proud. You just want the nations of the earth to in your time see God in his real form. You are just troubled. You just want to make God heard, God known, and happen big. It's a burden. And every day this burden eats you deeper and deeper. It's a sign that you're going to be a great prophet. And lastly, great faith. This is it. If you see that everything about you talks about or suggests the fact that you can or you're going to demonstrate great faith based on your thought life, your perception of God, your embrace of God, and the truth of the scripture, your revelation of Jesus and the acts of God makes you always see impossibilities becoming possible. You are always seeing big accomplishments or great accomplishments. And these which you always perceive can be made possible are things that a normal thinking person cannot think or see coming to be. But your faith eyes are seeing these things. Even if you were to live for 200 years, you may not be able to accomplish this. But then something in you tells you that through the power of God, these things can be in terms of accomplishments of all kinds. Talk about miracles. These things haunt you daily. You want to see barren wombs open, the cripple walking, the blind eyes seeing, the deaf ears opening. This is what troubles you. You always are obsessed with a dynamic move of God, great movement of God. You are not there yet, but there's a trouble, a budding in you, from budding to great faith. That thing troubles you. All great prophets, this is what I see. When Daniel began to intercede on behalf of Israel in a foreign land, he was agitating for a movement in the realm of the spirit. It came to pass when Isaiah began to prophesy about the coming Messiah. He wanted to see it. It came to pass, you see. Before Elijah came before Ahab, he knew that what he was about to step out into was going to be a national revolution. That was what happened exactly. Joshua went and stood before the bank of the river of Jordan, expecting the waters to be parted. In his mind, he'd been there before the revelations even came. So, great prophets or great prophet materials or potential great prophets always have a lion heart, a lion-like heart. There is that thing in them that is a stubborn kind of faith, a lion-like kind of faith that tells them there is no prey that is too big for them to capture or pick. And if you see yourself regularly breathing great acts, that shows clearly that somewhere, someday, your thoughts will become your reality. If you have been experiencing all of these things and perhaps you are not yet there in ministry in terms of manifestation or reality or fulfillment of these realities that I talked about, these are all sure signs that you have a place going to and you have a place in God for a great prophetic movement or mission